So it was so fun to just play around with this and see how we were like intuitively tuned into each other.
Welcome to Trust Yourself.
Okay, Sissy, I'm so excited to tell you about what happened last night. I wanted to call you right away, but then I was like, no, this is going to be a fabulous podcast episode.
Yeah,
All right.
make me wait forever.
I know, for real. This is like the longest ever. So last night at dinner, I don't even really remember how this topic came up, but we were talking about like feelings, and I kind of wanted to like lead into like seeing where they felt things in their body. And I was like, okay, like when you guys feel really loved, like when mom and dad give you a hug, like where does it feel like in your body? And they're like, my heart. And then I was like, close your eyes and tell me what color you feel. And my son, Stanley, goes, green. And I was like, oh, it's interesting that you say green because there's these things called chakras. And then I started explaining chakras to them. And I was like, your heart chakra is actually bright green. And we were talking about that. And then I was like, I'm curious to know if you guys like how you feel other things. So then I started describing creativity. So I was like, okay, so when you are coloring or creating something new or coming up with new ideas, like, do you feel that in your body? And my daughter, who's 6, Margot, she was closing her eyes and she was like, she kind of had this funny look on her face. Like she didn't want to say it. And she was like, I feel it in my private parts.
Oh, stop.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's correct. Like your sacral chakra, like you feel it
correct,
low.
Not correct. I mean,
Yeah.
If you're going off of the chart,
I was supporting it, and I was just like, feel it where you feel it. But I was like, then I was telling her about the sacral chakra and how that's where your creativity is. And then I started explaining the third eye chakra, and then I don't remember which kid it was, but one of them goes, oh, is that why you know that we're doing something we're not supposed to do without seeing it? And I was like, absolutely. I can see it with my third eye. And then they're like, do we have third eyes? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And it just turned into this game all of a sudden where I was like, let's see if we can guess what each other's feeling. And so we started with just like making faces, like they were closing their eyes. And then I just made a face, like I was making like an angry face, and they had their eyes closed. And I was like, okay, what am I feeling right now? And they're like, angry. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah. And then we just kept doing it. And then they got to the point where they were like standing behind me, and then they were making faces, and then I was trying to guess it.
Because the skeptic in me was going to be like, who was peeking through their fingers?
No, okay. So it was me making the face, and they were turned around completely, so they couldn't see my face. And I was making all these different kind of faces. I was making silly faces, happy faces, sad faces, all these things, and they did not look, and every single fucking one was correct. Every single one. And they were getting so excited every time that they were right. They were like, let's do it again. Let's do it again. And they fucking loved it. And then I was like, okay, now I'm curious. I want to do it. And so then they stood behind me and started making faces. And what I found was so interesting was I was wrong a lot of the time. They were always right. I was wrong. But I also noticed that the way that I said it, it was like, not the emotion that they were thinking, but they were making a face that I would have described as that sort of thing still too. But they were like, no, it was this. So like one of them was, I was like silly, and they're like, no. And then I just tried to keep guessing. I was like, oh, I don't know, sad. And then of course I was like doubting myself. And then I turn around, and then my son Stanley was making this face like, ah, and he was like, I'm excited. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I would have seen that and thought that was silly, but he was feeling excited. So it was so fun to just play around with this and see how we were like intuitively tuned into each other. And then this morning, Margot was telling me her friend is coming home with her after school today on the school bus. That friend's mom texted me this morning like, oh, she's a little nervous. And then so I let Margot know, and she's like, well, I can read her mind and see if she's feeling scared. And if she's feeling scared, I can say things that'll make her feel better. And I was like, you are right. You can always use your third eye, use your intuition, and read their mind, or however you want to say it. And and sense, like you can always sense if your friends are feeling scared or sad. Like just do that, just like how you did it with me. And she's like, I'm going to, because I am a mind reader now. She
I
was
love
so
that.
excited. It was super duper fun. I'm really excited to just keep doing this. And it feels so good to like just support their intuition, because kids are so more in tune with their intuition than we know. And I feel like as we grow and as we get older, we start squashing it. What are your thoughts on my game?
Yeah. I thought it was interesting because parts of it, I felt like, they were feeling your intuition. They were intuitively sensing your feelings and emotions. And then when you said you were getting their facial features correct or interpreting them how you thought you saw them, but not maybe their emotions, then I was thinking more of kind of the remote viewing, like you're actually seeing what
Right.
their faces are making, which is so fascinating to me as well. But of course, I'm very deep into the telepathy tapes right now. So that's what I'm.
It's so good though.
Love that podcast. But
Listen, everyone should listen.
so great. It's so great. But that's been opening my mind up more and more to especially kids and how they can sense things, like you said, a lot easier than we can as adults, going through a lot of public scrutiny and societal conditioning. But I think it's interesting because if you do think back to your childhood, if you can remember that far back,
It's not that far.
Okay. I feel like I might have had some moments where I felt like I just knew something in my gut, especially about like mom and dad, right? They would come in and I just kind of sensed that there was, I don't know, maybe a heated argument, and I would always feel like I need to say something or maybe not say something, and just having even mom or dad be like, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. But I just knew it wasn't. I remember feeling like, oh, I'm wrong. I was wrong. I need to stop that. Stop. I'm being silly. I'm just being a kid. And that right there was like the start of the cycle that made me stop listening to my gut and my intuition.
It's fucking sad if you think about it.
Right?
Like we do this not knowing, but it's almost like we're like, oh, this is like adult stuff. You don't need to worry about it. Like we just try to protect them. Like
exactly.
We come from it in a good place, but we don't realize like the damage we're causing.
The damage. Well, I feel like if even me, I still do this to my kids. I'm still like, oh no, mommy's fine, even though I'm freaking stressed. But the more I realize that I can be honest with them, because they are kids and they do sense that. They do pick up on my emotional cues, my physical cues, everything. And if I am more open with them and be like, you know what, you're right. Mom is stressed right now, but it's not your burden to bear. But yeah, I'm stressed. Then it's easier for them to kind of just affirm that they were sensing that correctly. And then they're not going to get stuck in that cycle of self-doubt, which is huge. I'm sure there's lots of other ways they can get stuck in a cycle of self-doubt. But
we'll cause them some sort of trauma. Don't worry. They will still need to go to therapy.
But yeah, I try really hard now to just be honest. Like, yes, I am not feeling well. But my oldest, she definitely likes to care for me. She's like, Mom, are you okay? I'm like, you know what? No, I kind of have a headache right now. Oh my gosh, are you okay? Do you need Tylenol? Oh gosh. I'm like, no, Harriet,
so
it's okay. Well, I really like that mind games story. I kind of want to play it with my kids.
Oh my God, please do. And record it. Like, I think it was so cool. It was so cool. And just if I was smart enough and remembered to record it yesterday, like my face was seriously, I was like fucking blown away, because it was one after another after another. And I was like looking at Kent like, are you seeing this? Like, are you like, is this not blowing your mind too? He's like, that's fucking cool. I was like,
I'm definitely going to have to do this myself because, again, skeptic here. I want to see it for myself. But I think it's important, even if you don't have kids, just understanding that we remember that even when we were kids, that we had this intuition and we did sense things a lot easier than where we are now. And
Yep.
I don't know, maybe part of this is developmental and it's easier for us to suppress things.
You want to know my theory?
Yes.
I have a theory. A very,
let's hear it.
very rudimentary theory based off of the fact that I have children and I was once a child, and this is my own study that I've done just now.
Very, very scientific study, mind you.
Extremely scientific. I feel
Stanley's
like
peeking.
yes, no.
I'm kidding.
I feel like kids are feelers, not thinkers. They're very just like, because think about it. Like when they're mad, they don't give a shit where the fuck they are. They will throw themselves on the ground, have a tantrum, let their energy run through them, like show you their anger, show you their sadness. Like they don't think like we do. Like they never are, well, I'm in a grocery store. Maybe I shouldn't have a tantrum right now. They don't think like that, right?
So you're saying it's okay, maybe even as an adult, I can just lay down and have a temper tantrum
Fucking
if my
maybe we should.
clothes aren't on sale?
Okay, I mean, maybe not so much. Like we don't want to all be like,
No, but it's true. I
Awful.
love that thought though, because honestly, there are so many times I want to throw a damn tantrum and then I just suppress it because I societal cues. Nope, that's very inappropriate. Don't do that. And the more I suppress it, the more frustrated I'll get. But maybe if I go into my car and scream a little
Right.
bit, that'll help.
yes, this is what we need to do. Like, okay, take in your surroundings. And yes, we are adults. We can be like, maybe this isn't the best place to throw a tantrum. But then go in your car, scream, go home, literally lay on your bed and kick a pillow and scream into your bed. Like, we can still have tantrums. We should allow ourselves to feel everything, because it's not about suppressing every single feeling and pretending that everything's happy. Oh God, this can go into another story that I have for you. But
Well, let's hear
basically-
it now.
Okay, so I was just on a really amazing women's retreat this past weekend. Like, I'm on this spiritual personal growth journey. Everything's great, but I'm this confident person and I show my emotions. So this is going to be easy for me to just open up and be vulnerable. Well, I didn't realize how much shit I had suppressed until we were doing this amazing movement and dance. It's called ULA. There's a lot of ULA classes and stuff around, but it's all about like somatic movement and moving all that stuck energy out. And I ended up like bawling at the end of this. And as I was sharing everything and telling them what I was feeling and what was going on, the facilitator, Kelly, she's fucking amazing. She was like, well, earlier I had shared the story of how mom used to call us her pride and joy, but she would call it was always Elise is my pride and Heidi's my joy. And so I embodied this joy. And she pulled that out and was like, what if you just like thought you could only be joy, and anything that wasn't joy, you just kind of suppressed? And so if you were ever feeling scared or hurt or angry or sad, like maybe you expressed it, but you also were telling yourself like, I can't feel this because I just have to be happy. And I never thought of it that way, because I always thought like, no, I think I did express my emotions. Until then, afterwards, I was like journaling and started to cry again, because you just cry at retreats, I found out. But it was coming up of like all these like times where I was angry and didn't express it because I knew I wouldn't be listened to, or I knew that like nobody would understand it. And so I was like, damn, maybe I did just try to be positive, like to a fault, where I was suppressing other things. And it's goes back to, as kids, like allowing us to feel it and allowing us not to be afraid of any emotion, right? Like you shouldn't be afraid to be angry. You shouldn't be ashamed to be sad, but yet we are sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's so powerful. I also, going to that pride and joy theory, that's probably also why I felt like I had to always make mom proud no matter what. And the other emotions, suppress them.
Mhm.
That's fine. That's what's only important is being perfect and making mom proud. Sorry, mom, it's not all your fault.
Right. Yeah, it'd be so much easier if you were just like, oh, I'm just going to make myself proud. But that, that takes evolving.
No. I think it's what's great about all of this is that we're talking about really going back to childhood and just embodying the childhood feelings again. When you get in touch with your emotions and how you truly feel, not what people want you to look like, feel like, be, how you truly feel. If the inside matches the outside, maybe that's when you're most in tune with your intuition and you can connect with that as well.
Oh my God, that just reminded me of a Bluey episode. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Nope.
The
Which
yes, no
one
button.
of the many? Oh, yes,
no,
no,
it's
no.
like- And she's like, okay, so she gets this toy that says yes or no, and the Bingo's the younger sibling, but basically she goes around and everybody kind of tells her what to do or tells her how she should spend her dance mode, as she can give her parents a dance mode, which makes them dance no matter where they are. But at the very end of the episode, she's kind of sad, and of course, this is the moment of the big lesson, and that's when Mom is like, Bingo, does sometimes your outside voice not match your inside voice? Like your inside voice wants to say no, but your outside voice says yes. I'm like, fucking deep shit. I fucking love Bluey.
I wish I could be Chili so
I want to
much.
be Chili. Yeah, she's so smart and just, I just love her. Shameless plug for Bluey for all parents, even if you don't
Yes.
have kids. I have friends who don't have kids who watch Bluey.
It's a great therapeutic show.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what I think everybody should do is, I think if you have children in your life, you should play this game. But even if you don't have children in your life, I think you should remember those times when you felt the feelings and allow yourself to feel those feelings again.
Or maybe play it with a partner. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
have to be a child to play the game.
Absolutely. Or if you do have kids and if you play this game yourself, if you record it and then post it, tag us in it. I'd love to see your videos. That would be super, super fun. But yeah, I just think it'd be fun to just start tapping into our intuition with our children or partner. Yeah, that would be fun. Or friend or sister, whoever. Just start playing some fun like mind reading games and be creative and do them however you decide to do them. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is exactly why we started this podcast, because we're not here to teach you exactly how to be intuitive. We're here to help you remember, because it's been in you all along and you've just been taught to ignore it.
Yep. So let's get back to it. Back to basics. Back to our intuition.
So until next time, it's your move, sis.
Make it count. Bye.
Bye.